welcome to Football Extra Site. Today we are going to be talking about Joao Felix. What can we say about Joao Felix? Joao Felix is a footballer that is very talented. He is very good on the ball. And the news making the round today is that he's going to be signing as Chelsea player. Joao Felix is a 24-year-old forward player from Portugal and he's been at Stamford Bridge before. This player is a very good player. He's nimble on the ball, he's very skillful. He's the kind of player that when he comes into your side, it gives you everything that you want a forward player to give you in some very difficult moment. Today, it makes the news. The news just broke earlier today that he's going to be coming back to Chelsea. This is not his first time of coming to Chelsea. He's been at Chelsea before as a loan player. During those period, he played about 20 games and the return was about 4 goals and few assists, maybe 2 or 3 assists. Don't quote me on that. But the output wasn't really bad given the fact that some of the chances that could have added to his statistics, that we make his statistics to look very impressive, ended up hitting the bars and few close missed chances here and there. Even the cancelled goal, ruled out goals. So this player is going to be a bank for Chelsea. What can we say about Joao Felix? Joao Felix is a very skillful forward. So that it doesn't look like we are repeating ourselves. If you remember, the first time Joao Felix was at Chelsea, the hierarchy at Chelsea actually wanted him. They wanted him to stay at Chelsea. But at that point in time, Chelsea had a manager in Mauricio Pochettino. Chelsea had a manager in Mauricio Pochettino, and for some reason Mauricio Pochettino does not want Joao Felix in his team, and I just could not see any football reason why Mauricio Pochettino wouldn't want Felix in his team. One thing I can think about is that Mauricio Pochettino is an Argentine. Simone, who happens to be the manager of Joao Felix at Atletico Madrid, is also an Argentine. There could be some camaraderie there, that if Felix fell out with Simone, then he could always go around football world and feeling the consequences. So I think, this is my theory, don't quote me on it, it might not be true, but I just felt that Mauricio Pochettino was just a little petty, and that's why Joao Felix did not stick around. The first time out, he was in Chelsea's squad. As fate we have it, he is back. He's back in the squad. As fate we have it, Mauricio Pochettino is gone and Felix is back in Chelsea. You see how fate works. Now that we have Joao Felix in this team, what can we expect? What does Joao Felix brings into this Chelsea side? What does it bring into this Chelsea side? We're going to see a player that can play across the front three. He could play as a striker. He could play as a supporting striker. He could also play as our left-wide player, inside left, inside right. He could play in virtually every positions along the attack. And with what Chelsea has right now, if Chelsea is able to invest on bringing on a striker that we be ahead of him, I think this is really going to be a good signing for Chelsea. What else can we say about what is making the round today? There's been a lot of negative press for Chelsea this time around, but we can see that this is just going to bring another round of positivity. Joao Felix, when he was with Chelsea, it was in that season. I think it was a period in the summer. No, not summer. I think it's even in the winter window that he came to Chelsea. And I remember the first game he played against Fulham. It was so impressive. He was that player that was making things happening on the field. his stint with Chelsea at that time was a very good one, and certainly this time around is coming as a permanent player with Chelsea, so Chelsea could have him around for as long as they wanted. It is reported that the deal is going to be a 6 years deal plus option of another year. So, Chelsea fan, this is a good signing. This is the kind of signing that moves the needle. This is a positive one, and I look forward to coming over here and bringing us a few more details. But from all indication, Joao Felix is going to be having his medical tomorrow, and Chelsea fans are going to be having him unveiled. He's going to be unveiled to the fans, and the merchandise is also going to be selling a lot this time around. So these lads who are Chelsea owners knows what they're doing. Didn't know what they're doing. After a negative match that could bring a negativity into the vibes again due to the loss over the weekend to Manchester City, it makes a lot of sense that the news of signing Joao Felix is also coming a day after to just keep the fan base happy. Now that we have Joao Felix who could help out in the attacking position, what is the state of Raheem Sterling? We will be doing another video that we talk about the situation of Raheem Sterling much more than just mentioning his name just as a side comment in this video. This video is just basically about Joao Felix, and we look forward to coming around again tomorrow to bring you some more news about Joao Felix, because it is reported that the medical is going to be tomorrow. Let's see if the medical is going to happen tomorrow and Chelsea have themselves a wonderful player. One other thing we're going to be talking about has to do with the numbers of players that Chelsea has and some of the negative price that Chelsea has been receiving. Chelsea fan, there is another matter that we are going to be looking at in this video, and that has to do with the negativity that Chelsea is receiving in the media of late. A lot of pundits seems to have an agenda against Chelsea. But there is one thing that is quite clear. The new owners of Chelsea seems to have a strategy that has never been seen anywhere adopted in football circles. And what is the strategy? Buying a lot of players. And this seems to be something that confuses a lot of pundits who probably played the game before. And as a matter of fact, quite a lot of them plays the game. And in their days, until this moment when they are done playing football, they had never seen any club in the whole wide world who continues to buy players at the rate Chelsea continues to pile up players. And it seems strange. And you know, when you do not understand something, it is always convenient to call it whatever you like. And that has been the situation with some of these pundits. They just don't understand what Chelsea is doing. And so they call it any name they like. They try to blacklist it. They call it any name. They say it's never going to work. But it's because they don't understand it. However, we are not going to pretend that we really understand what they are doing totally. But we can tell you, based on the other exposure that we have, that the new owners of Chelsea are venture capitalists. And what does venture capitalists do? They buy assets. They improve the assets and flip it for the margins. It's all they look for in what they do. It's all about the margin. There is something called arbitrage. And in this situation, what they are doing is players arbitrage. Players arbitrage. What this means that you buy players and you sell players. You buy players and you sell and you make the difference. Let's clearly play a scenario for some of the Chelsea fans, and they will relate with this. Imagine when they came back about 2 years ago and they signed a player from Aston Villa in the person of Kenny Chukwuemeka. And it's in the news today that Kenny Chukwuemeka might be going to Barcelona or Napoli. And if you remember a couple of months ago, Fabrizio Romano, in one of his briefings, said that in the contract of Chukwuemeka, Kenny Chukwuemeka, there was a £40 million release clause. £40 million release clause. How much did Chelsea sign this player from Aston Villa? It was for £20 million. And if anybody stepped forward today to say they would like to sign Carney, it's £40 million. Even if it's to go on loan and with option to buy, even if it's going to be sold at £30 million, that is a cool £10 million made on a player with promising talent, bought from a rival club, train with your club in 2 years, and you flipping him to make a profit of £10 million in just 2 years. And how many of those players do Chelsea have on their book? You can count. You can count Datro Fofana. You can count David Washington. You can count all of these players. Angelo Gabriel, Moreira, that has just been sold to Strasbourg, another of the clubs on their network. And you have all these players, young players, that they are signing all across the club. It's so simple to understand what they are doing. But these pundits, sometimes, they all make up their mind. What they want to say, they say outrageous things without even thinking about it. So it's very clear what Chelsea is doing. They're just buying players to raise revenue. They're not playing in a Champions League. Things are tough at the moment for them. They have to make money from other sources. And player arbitrage is one of the options. It's just one of the options. So it's very clear what Chelsea is doing right now. And then there are reports out there that Chelsea have 48 players, 53 players, whatever the amount of number that people want to assign to that number. One thing is clear. The manager, the head coach, is only training with 28 players, which is the standard number for any team. And the other set of players are training separately. And those players are going to be receiving a different solution. The solution that is going to be look for these guys, and they are going to either go on loan or be sold outright. So it shouldn't really be a problem. But one thing is clear: Chelsea in the news in the past season have been very negative. So we're going to be moving over to some other news pretty soon.